Hi guys, my name is Miller and welcome back to a new video. And yes, this one isn't pre-recorded. I'm back and at it again. In today's video, I was planning on discussing the finale for the, is it now third or fourth part of the Fast and Furious series? I don't know. But as I have quite a lot to say about the difficulty level and about the events in general, I decided to split up each event into a separate video. Meaning that today I'll talk about Triple Crossed only. Tomorrow I'll have a video on Downfall, and then Sunday I'll have one up for the Supra finale. I will be rather late compared to the release dates, but there is plenty to say in each one of them videos. But before I start talking about Triple Crossed, I would like to give my hats off to Natural Motion for the crate system this time around. It is quite solid, I must say. So you do get a free crate for every car you already own, even if they're not locked in yet, every 24 hours, and the event lasts, I think, 12 to 13 days when it started. So that means yes, you don't hit 2 loyalties, but you will definitely hit one, which can help you massively throughout the event. It is in general a big improvement from back in the day, where it was a free crate every 2 days, or a 10 loyalty story. It's improving and it's near perfect, so keep on going Natural Motion, you're almost there. Small detail though, the Downfall event started 2 days later than the Triple Crossed, but the end time on the crates is the same, which means that you will get 2 less free crates on the cars used in Downfall, which makes you miss the second loyalty for sure and makes hitting the second loyalty more expensive. Prices are still too steep for my liking, as at some point a crate becomes almost worthless and useless if you only need a stage 6 part or a specific fusion part, and just a waste of money. A more expensive crate for a guaranteed stage 6 or fusion part type would be nice, or just lower the prices on crates in general, maybe some kind of bundles. I don't know. A stage 6 should just not cost an additional 31.5 on top of the price of the car if you just want to hit loyalty and you got terrible luck in those 7 pulls. Now onto the events. So by now you will have seen the 3 separate events of the finale on the map: Triple Crossed, Downfall and Supra Surge. The first one that popped up was Triple Crossed if I recall correctly. This event rewards you the Dodge Charger RT, which then you will have to use in the Downfall event to get the Supra. But if you already had the Charger, it is an event for extra resources, or an event you can just ignore and put on the side. The event seems to me kind of a fix for not having the F-Bomb Camaro, which was in the files at some point. The F-Bomb would have been the perfect 5th car for the finale, which could have had its own event in the style of the previous 4, with a dual lock-in, with the first one being either the 720S or the ZR1, but it never came for some reason, so they had to add another car into the series. And with the Supra being the final prize, the other half of the iconic duo is obviously the 1970 Dodge Charger RT. I don't say this is a bad decision, there is nothing wrong with it, but execution is far from good as well. But to get this car, you can't just sell it like the Fortune RX-7 or the Evo 7 for some hard cash, as some people had to pay a lot more in the past to get it, as it has always been a reward prize. This time you'll have to win it as well, in kind of like a mini finale, with cars which were obtainable for the last time, I think roughly 1.5 to 2 years ago. For this one you'll need to buy 3 old Fast and Furious cars, being Letty's Rally Fighter, Tej's AMG GTS and Hobbs Dodge Demon. So if you didn't have the Charger yet, you will have to buy these cars if you didn't have any of these, which means that you will have to pay an additional 38 euros to get them in the discount bundle. So if you then want a Supra, you will have to buy these 3 plus the 4 latest ones, which becomes 7 cars to get one. It is kind of steep. I have seen some uproar on this, and that is fully understandable. But I think the main issue lays within the fact that 2 of the 3 required cars are kind of the biggest dust collectors in game, with Tej's AMG being the 4th slowest tier 4 car. I mean, even the Nissan GTR is faster, and Letty's Rally Fighter isn't the slowest, but it is mediocre at best. Here I would have left open the choice to use the regular AMG GT and the Rally Fighter, and then having the Hobbs Demon as a paid car, to at least not force people into buying unnecessarily slow cars. On the other hand, the Charger RT has already been obtainable on multiple occasions, so for some it could have been expected to already have it, and in the last event they didn't use the GTS or the Rally Fighter when they brought back all the other ones, so they kinda needed to revive these 2 as well. I understand the frustration, but the difficulty level will not require extra crates, so it is maybe slightly reasonable to some extent, I guess. The event itself consists of 50 races in total, with 3 lock-ins like mentioned earlier. the total rewards come down to 2,330,000 cash, 340 gold, 420 bronze keys, 5 gold keys, 27 uncommon, 6 rare and 3 epic fusion parts, and 1 stage 6 part for the car you slot in and lock number 1. Sadly, stupid me deleted the recording of that race, but it was pretty doable to get it. I think fully fused stage 5 should do the job. And then the final reward, the biggest one of course, being the Charger RT. Here I have to say I'm rather surprised with the low amount of gold keys being rewarded and the lack of silver keys. Also the number of stage 6 parts, I was expecting at least 1 or 2 for the Charger itself, as that's the one you will have to use later in the other event, which is next level. But what happens if you win the Charger when you already have it after completing the event? Upon delivery you get the message whether you want to strip it. I decided not to, as I wanted to check up if my other one was maxed out. And when I went to try to strip it afterwards, I got a message I wasn't able to do so. Which leaves me now with 2 Chargers. What is the point of that? For some people who already had the car, I would have expected a different final reward, like some extra keys or a stage 6 part, as now me and some others probably just have the car taking up a spot in the garage. Kinda useless really. But this is a sign though of Natural Motion having listened to my complaint on the video I made back in the day when you could win the Ice Charger or the 1970 Charger also through an event like this, that you would need them for the flip car. Back then if you already had the car, you would have gotten fully excluded from the event, which was ridiculous, so you missed out on many rewards, but now you're not excluded and then the rewards are not that great, but in the end it can be seen as a slight improvement. Now onto the event and its difficulty. I had all 3 cars maxed out, so for me it was a cakewalk, but I've seen some people managing to get the Charger using 1 or 2 stage 6 parts, so it can be said it is very doable and enjoyable as a starting player, having to transfer some fusion parts at times and maybe perhaps retune. I chose to lock in according to tier, and first the Rally Fighter, followed by the AMG GTS, and the third slot the Dodge Demon. For you, I suggest to put the Demon in first, as the first slot is the only one rewarding you a stage 6 part. As for the hardest race, due to racing order being all over the place, I have no recording of the Demon, which means that I must have passed it fairly easy in the first place. I have seen comments and posts about people passing it with only 1 stage 6 part, so you will have to see. For the Rally Fighter and the AMG GTS I do have recordings though. The hardest time for the AMG GTS came from me on race 47, and the opponent ran only a 14.0, making it a rather doable time to beat. But it also shows the poor performance of the car if your final opponent is a not even maxed out tier 3 car. For the Rally Fighter, the hardest race was on race 49 due to it being in the first slot, and I had to face a guy running a 9.650, which again is very doable for a tier 3 car, maybe requiring 1 stage 6 part you might have won already earlier. Times can of course slightly vary depending on the lock-in order. Then to close off, I'll show you the final relay race. It will show you roughly what collective time you will need to beat to get the Charger RT. This is what I've been told the hardest race of the event, but having the Demon decently upgraded for example will save you a lot of time and efforts. I would also like you to ask to enjoy the graphics with this track reflecting on the cars. It is quite pretty when running these on this awesome pretty dark night track. So in general, a very doable event and for some people necessary to move on to Downfall series. but it is quite a shame that you will be forced into buying non-competitive cars just to get a car that you will need near max in downfall, making it perhaps a waste of money to invest in after all if you don't get the Supra. It is a double-edged sword. I'm not very satisfied with the chosen cars, as for newer players it is a star pill, but for people who had the cars from in the past or already had the Charger RT, it was a breeze or just an event you can ignore. And now I got a second car I really can't use. But at least I didn't get excluded and got some nice extra rewards, so can I really complain after all? Hope that's all for this event. Tomorrow I'll see you for Downfall. Have a lot to say about that one, as I'm kind of pissed with the difficulty level, so it might be a long one tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe for more. My name is Mille, I'm glad to be back. See you around and keep racing.